Hello, and welcome back to another Fishy Plant Man video here in the land of the Seven Suns by me, Fishy Plant Man. Okay, I was really struggling today with what I would do for a video, and not too long ago I was out dead limbing my, well, I call them my little weed trees. That they've got nothing to do with cannabis, but they look like it. Um, yeah, I know what they're called. I just can't think of it at the moment. Um, but yeah, I like them. I used to play with their seeds as a kid because they got those helicopter seeds. You can throw them up and they helicopter back down to the ground. Um, the ones I've got out on the main entry, whatever you want to call it. I suppose they could, but the trees are pretty small compared to the ones that drop the bigger seeds anyway. Um, yeah, they grow seeds, but I'm not even sure that you can plant them. Although I think I am going to try this year. um, but yeah, they're, I don't know, 8 to 10 feet tall, and seeds are pretty small. But I was dead limbing them, and I thought about it. How, I just say I'm going to dead limb the trees, but how exactly do you do that? Well, I go out now that they're leafed out and just look for the lack of leaves and then kind of give it a test. Lots of times it'll be all dead and dried out and it'll just break off. Sometimes it's got some life to it. Um, that happened with one of them. It seemed to have some life to it, so even though it didn't have leaves, I gave it the benefit of the doubt and left it alone. However, there's one coming over a branch coming over the walk that I don't think I want there. Well, I'm gonna go ahead. I mean, these are like some of my favorite trees on the planet, and I really don't want to take any chances with them. So even though it's a small limb, it's a perfectly healthy limb. It's small, and its only problem is it's shooting out over the walk, and it's going to hit people in the head in a year or two. So I'm going to leave it there. Take note of it. Probably look at it every day for a while so that when it sheds its leaves, I'll know exactly which one it is I want to cut because I'll have memorized what it looks like. And then sometime in the winter, after the sap is, gone down, so to speak, all the leaves will be off the tree. I'll go out and I'll cut it. But I'm going to let the nutrients go back into the roots ultimately before I do. So, yeah. That's how I dead limb and I trim in, not necessarily, maybe if I, don't get around to it, it'll be, just as they're starting to bud. But I just like to do it in the winter. Seems safest to me. So, yeah, that's when I'll do it. Like I say, that one limb, the one that looked dead but seemed to have some life to it, there's nothing wrong with it other than it's ugly without leaves. So I'll give it a year or two, see what it does. Probably gonna die ultimately, but so that's how I did limb. And the guest today, because I kind of put, a guest plant there behind the turtle and the rock technically. I don't know what it is about this rock. I know, ugly pot. But that particular rock, I don't know. It just seems to want to be a decoration, so I've let it. Not sure how it happened. It's just an ugly rock. But it kind of wants to be a decoration, so it kind of lives in that area. The frog is kind of taking over its position, but it still lives in the area. I don't know. It's like a pet rock now, and there's no reason for it to be because it's just an ugly rock. If I turn it that way, does it look like a heart? No. At best, it looks a little bit like an arrowhead. It's just a rock. But it seems to want to live there, so I'll let it. So I brought this guest down because, well, when I bought it, its leaves, which are way up here now, I know, not a lot of leaves, but I'll get to that in a second. When I bought it, it was maybe a foot tall, and its leaves, came out right from the base and just kind of laid on the pot. And the whole stem had leaves. Well, I just let it be that way. And as it got a little taller, first time it did this in mass, it kind of freaked me out. But it got a little bit taller, and it would lose a leaf or two, and that was fine. It was the matriarchal leaf, or, the lowest leaf. I didn't worry about it. But then, seemingly overnight, because I looked at it one day, and about half of its leaves had dropped off. And it can't really do that now because it had just done it not long ago. But it gets 7-8 inches of leaves, and then it will drop a lot of them from the base. Really kind of freaked me out the first time it did it. But it's did it, I don't know, several times. We'll say at least 10 times if it does it like once a year. Just drops a portion of its lower leaves. But so far, and got quite the stem now. That stem's, I don't know, maybe a little more than a yard. 3 feet, whichever measurement you prefer. Like I say, it's already done it. So, yeah, that's what it left this time. But if you're not used to it or not ready for it, like it's your first one, technically this isn't my first one. I had one before, but it didn't like something, and it died in, I don't know, about a year. This one's, I don't know, probably pretty close to 10 years old. 7-8 years old, maybe. And it's done this to me several times, and I've gotten used to it, although I think that might be the smallest top that it's had ever. Yeah, I got an orange flag there. Of course I do. You've been looking at it for a while now. Yeah. It's a little bit concerning, but I'm trying to stay calm. It was concerning when it did this too. Because just before that, let's say, somewhere between where it crooks and the yarn, it would support itself. But at some point it had fell over. Okay. And I'd left it for a while before I propped it up. I had to find a stick and everything else. So, yeah. That's when it fell over on me. But as you can see, it kept growing. So, yep, that's the guest plant, I guess I'll say. And yeah, I think that's going to be about it for this video. Mostly because I'm running out of time. Um, I wanted to hurry up and squeeze this in. So, yeah, I did. And I suppose I'll talk to you next time.